First of all, I feel this training session would be much better in person or over a VTC rather than Skype due to the availability of the interaction. I would prefer to ask questions throughout the training, following an introduction of myself and a course overview. That being said, here's my introduction. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Maste. I've been working here at ABC for 5 years. Mr. Smith asked me to put together this training session. Prior to working here, I served 4 years in the military and an additional 5 years in Iraq and Afghanistan as a contractor. Those multicultural situations required effective communication. As we will discuss, effective communication varies a great deal from regular communication. We will define communication and what it takes to establish effective communication. This training will be charged to your training and development code, so yes, you are being paid. It has been brought to my attention that we've had some communication breakdowns and we've drifted off course in regards to program cohesion, and the business unit would like to see the communication unify and see clarity. This training session is meant to be interactive and not your typical death by PowerPoint. You veterans know what I'm talking about. At this time, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please address them as well as throughout the training. I'd hate to bore you this entire time by talking. Before we get started into the PowerPoint presentation, I'd like to bring a few things to your attention and let you think them over throughout this session. The first thing is that people spend about 75% of their time at work in interpersonal situations. I would also like you to think about a time that you tried to put a joke into a message or an email. Was your joke received as intended? Did it leave you backpedaling, embarrassed, or in a sticky situation? When you cannot engage in a face-to-face interaction, when you have to send that message, pretend you're sending that message to your parents or grandparents. Assume they cannot decide your codes, your emojis, your slang, your jargon, etc. Be specific, to the point, professional, clear, and concise. As mentioned, those things will be discussed throughout this training. Don't feel bad if it doesn't apply to you or you're a bit confused at this time. Okay, off to the mandatory fun training. Once again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, fire away. We all have to be here, so we might as well have fun. Effective communication. Table of contents. We're going to define communication. We're going to define effective communication. How has technology changed communication? How we apply technology effectively to communication. The importance of effective communication, followed up by a summary. I'll take any of your questions. And there will be a survey at the end. What is communication? Communication, by definition, is the act or process of transmitting information. Communication can be categorized as effective or ineffective, depending on method, content, and emotion. As you can see here, the definition of effective communication is much different. It's a lot more elaborate. Effective is defined as success in producing a desired or intended result. Effective communication is therefore defined as a successful transmission of information or an idea with a desired or intended result. Although communication is a basic skill learned early on in age, to make communication effective, it must be done so properly in which all parties understand the desired result. The delivery method is important, as well as tone, body language, and content. Listening is just as important as talking. All involved must show empathy and understanding. How has technology changed our communication? Technology has changed communication drastically in recent years. Electronic and wireless communications have made it possible for us to handle emergencies, reach across the globe to family, and work remotely. Although communication allows us to communicate more often, it does not necessarily mean we communicate better or more effectively. Due to communication, messages can be misconstrued, confusing, and lead to a misunderstanding. Text messages and emails should not replace face-to-face interaction, if at all possible. These delivery methods lack a lot of important aspects to effective communication, such as body language, building any potential rapport with the face-to-face contact, as well as they allow room for more confusion and less clarification. Tips to achieving effective communication. Once again, that question I asked earlier, have you ever been caught up in a text or an email to where you thought someone on the receiving end would understand your joke? It could have led to undesired results, confusion, offensiveness, defensiveness, a lot of things. The bad thing about messages is that they don't often have any facial expression, the physical contact. Your messages can be skimmed over, key points can be missed, people don't read them in depth. When communicating effectively, you must lose all offensive and defensive postures, positions, body languages, statements, comments, etc. You should be able to accept different ideas and suggestions. You should leave your biased opinions at the door. You should focus on the problems rather than the people. Once again, becoming offensive or defensive, it can be a real issue in the workplace. Have deadlines been missed? Why were they missed? Could it have been a process rather than a person? If you must communicate through a message, pretend you're talking to your parents or grandparents. Try to avoid using any acronyms. Please declare and define the who, what, why, when, where, and how. Be as specific as possible and to the point. Listening tools. As mentioned, listening is just as important as talking. Do not rush the conversation or message. Do not anticipate what others will say. Ask questions regarding points you did not understand. Once again, leave your bias. Take notes and seek clarification as needed. In summary, you can see there are many differences between communication and effective communication.